So I've been wanting to, or thinking about trying a Canon camera for quite a while. Partly because I think they get some quite good reviews, cripple hammer aside. And partly because I see a lot of people using Canon cameras at race circuits, for example. I would say, I don't know, probably 70% of the people who are serious at race circuits are using Canon cameras. Nikon are the next, probably biggest camera you see at race circuits, and then maybe Sony, don't know. But Canon probably rule the roost, and I think they're quite popular for wildlife as well. So I thought I should try it. I wasn't thinking about anything really serious in terms of Canon cameras, but I thought I should try a Canon camera just to see what they're like. Never had one, never even had a Canon film camera back in the day. So I'd watched a few videos and reviews and things, and I ended up buying, to start with, I bought this, which is 22mm f2 lens for EFM mount. Because I thought, having looked at Canon cameras, I'm not interested in a DSLR. I'm not really interested in a compact type camera, but a mirrorless, I thought something small like an M3, for example, might be a good camera just to try out the brand. So I bought the 22mm lens because it came up at a very good price, came up for £125 and it's in excellent condition. So I bought that and I thought I'll try and find a camera at some point that goes with it. Several months later, and after looking at lots more reviews, I'd ruled out the M3 because I think it has flaky autofocus, and I just don't want another camera with flaky autofocus. So I thought maybe it'll be an M6. And I looked at the M6 Mark II and I thought, they're expensive. They're probably very good. And then I thought, well, maybe an M6, not the Mark II, maybe the original version. And there was one came up at Wex Photo, who I think are a pretty good online retailer. Been pleased with things I've bought from them before. And this one came up for sale on the Wex website for £229, and it says it was well used, but as you'll see from the images I've taken of it, it's pretty darn good for a well used camera. It's far exceeded my expectations. Really, really good. So well pleased with that. Thanks, Wex. So what are my first impressions of the camera? It's small. It's smaller than I was expecting, and as you'll see side by side with the X100S, it's a really small camera. It's quite it feels really nice in the hand. It feels kind of, just feels like a really good solid camera. It feels like a premium product, no doubt about it. There are a few things I really like about it. Having used it now for a little while, there are some things I really like about it. I like the fact that the mode dial on the top is really quite difficult to turn. There's no chance of knocking that accidentally. The exposure compensation, it moves a little bit easier, but so far I've not knocked that one accidentally. It's got the two command dials, one at the front, one at the back, which is nice, and they feel good. No problems with those either. I do like the fact that on the back it has a dedicated ISO button and a dedicated manual focus button. So I am one of these people who likes to switch in and out of autofocus and manual focus potentially as quickly as possible, and that's one of the reasons I like the Pro lenses on Olympus, because you can just use the clutch to change between autofocus and manual focus. But this also makes it pretty easy to change, so that's another plus point. The screen is really nice. It's big, clear, lots of good definition on the screen, and Another thing I really like about the camera so far is that the autofocus seems very reliable, very good. Well pleased with that. So lots of good things I'm enjoying about this camera, lots of good things. Another thing I am enjoying about the camera is the good battery life. That's nice. What I didn't realise when I bought the camera, and what I initially was quite peeved about and didn't enjoy, was the fact that when I bought another battery, a third-party battery, not a genuine Canon one, I discovered that I couldn't charge it in the Canon charger. So that annoyed me. I had to buy another battery charger for third-party batteries. And it turns out that third-party batteries don't give you all the same features that a genuine battery gives you. So for example, you don't get the battery low indication, the battery level indication either. So that's a bit of a faff. To be honest, for photography, doesn't matter that much. I think people who use these for videos find it quite annoying that your battery can, if you're using a third-party battery, it can go dead in the middle of a video and potentially you'll just lose what you've been videoing. So that's not very nice. So the whole battery thing is a bit of a faff, to be honest. That's Cripple Hammer for you. I mentioned the screen, and it's one of these screens which is fully tiltable, so that you can do the vloggy thing with it. Tilts the other way as well, so you can hold the camera up in the air should you wish, and you can just you can tilt it to any degree you like. Nice, I like that feature. Obviously, it means you can't have anything on the hot shoot at the time that you're flipping the screen right around. There's no easy way around that. It is a camera where, because the screen on the back, the touch screen, is so responsive and nice to use, I've actually been using the touch screen a lot. Don't usually go in for touch screen very much. I do use the touch to focus and touch to shutter thing on the Olympus, on the EM1 occasionally, and the EPL8 occasionally, but I use those. Use that fairly infrequently for specific things. Whereas the touch screen on this, I'm using it for the menus, and pretty good. I like it. It's good. Works well. Speaking of menus, not a massive fan of the way the menu's organised, but it's okay. It's just another different. It's another different variation on the theme. I think it's probably a bit better than the Olympus efforts, to be honest. They don't have there's not the groupings and stuff in the Olympus stuff. I find it difficult to wade through them sometimes, and on the EM1 there's a lot of options. But anyway, on the Canon, it's okay. It's not bad. It's all right. I've also tried a cursory try on the remote app using a phone, Bluetooth to this. Might use that again. I might try that a bit more. It seemed to work okay. I've not really tried that on any camera before, so again, something that's worth trying on this thing. A couple of things I've noticed about the output. One is that the JPEGs that come out of this, people rave about Canon colours. I'm not seeing it with the standard profiles. I haven't tried all of them, so there's a bit more experimentation there. But you can set up you can customise the profiles with more contrast and more saturation and all that sort of stuff. But so far, I've not seen anything out of this Canon camera that I would say would be better than something out of a Fuji, for example. I mean, I think Fuji are the king of JPEGs, and the JPEGs out of the Fujis are so easily accessible with their film simulations. It makes everything else just seem like a big effort. So always top marks to Fuji on the JPEG front, I think. The video straight out of this, I've been impressed with. It's really nice, very usable video. It is only a 1080p camera. It's not a 4K camera, but it looks good. The video from this looks, I think, is pretty impressive. So I like that about it. Obviously, when I'm doing photography, I don't shoot JPEG particularly. I'm very much a RAW shooter who likes to do stuff in Darktable generally. However, having been editing the RAW files from this camera in Darktable, I don't really like what I'm seeing. I'm finding them really hard work in Darktable to get something that I find acceptable. So I am now using the Canon software, and it's called Canon Digital Photo Professional, I think, something like that, DPP for short. That's a really powerful tool, and I'm finding it much easier to get a result that I like from that software, which everything else I do in Darktable. So I'm a bit surprised at that, but it doesn't seem to handle the Canon RAW files, not to my taste at all. Hard work, and I'm not getting the results I like. So don't know what's going on there, but I'm enjoying using the Canon software. That's actually quite nice to use. As I say, very powerful, lots of features in it. I'm still learning them, but enjoying doing that. The thing that strikes me most about this camera, and I've been using it in this way for a couple of months now, is that this could very easily be a camera that does pretty much everything. I've even took it to the racetrack at Thruxton, and I only took a few images with it, and I used the 55 to 200 lens, maybe right, and it actually delivered, I think, images that, considering I was only using it very quickly, and I mean I'd set it up specifically for it. Obviously you can set the thing up for continuous autofocus and all that sort of, all the normal sorts of things, and so I did mess about with a lot of the settings to get something which I thought would work, and I think it worked pretty well actually. I was really surprised. So I think it goes to show that you don't actually need to spend a fortune to get decent results at a racetrack. You can do it with pretty cheap kit if you want to. If you've got a mind to, and you're really to persevere with it, and just try hard and practice lots. You can get some acceptable results with a relatively cheap kit. It's not out of reach for people. So could be a real do-it-all option for most things. So I don't even know if this camera is really going to do the kind of walk and talk vloggy thing. So we're just going to find out. To be honest, so far, almost everything I've tried with this camera, I've been pretty impressed with. So, let's give it a look and see what goes on, see what happens. Over here at Broxhead today, and the heather's absolutely amazing. We had some really hot sunny days, well, a couple of really hot sunny days, and it's really it's come on alarming. What's also interesting is that most years I would expect this to be absolutely buzzing with bees, and it doesn't seem to be. I've seen a couple, a few bees, but this is, it's a massive area that's covered in heather, and there's a few bees about, but not very many. One or two buzzards about as well. So let's see how it goes. As I say, everything so far I've done with this camera has pretty much amazed me. I'm really, really pleasantly surprised. So, we'll see what this is like. And I'll report back on other lenses I've tried and other accessories I've tried for this camera. So, just thoroughly enjoying a new learning experience with it at the moment. And we'll see how it goes. Thank you, Canon. Thank you, Wex. That's it for now.